what's up everybody? In this video I'm going to be talking about how I am planting herbs and lettuces using reusable paper towels, which will drive down the cost in a way that I think is simple and foolproof. The things I'm looking for, I need something to be able to support the weight of that growing plant. So basil can get, it can get a stem, it can get a little top heavy. There's all basil in here right now, but if it works for basil, it'll also work for lettuce. This method probably, may or may not, but probably won't work for like heavier plants because the roots need more to grab onto. So this is for leafy greens. And so basically I got two ways I'm doing it. First is, first and foremost, you got your flat that's mesh bottom. Don't mind this, it's from an experiment. You don't have to do that. And then I got an insert with a, 24 site insert that holds 2-inch net pots, right? And the reason I like that is because I can reconfigure and grow almost any size plant in a 2-inch net pot, at least to the height of my system here, my clearance to my lights. So I have two ways of doing it. First is I just rolled up these towels into like U's. So I rolled them up about an inch or two across, and then I folded them up in half, and then I put them in my system like this, and then I put the seed in the middle. I found that that wasn't good because the seed was germinating at the bottom of the U, almost at the bottom of in the water a little bit, and that was bad. And also then it had to grow another 2 inches to reach the same level that if I gave it the same light intensity that if it germinated at the top. So if you had soil or one of these peat pucks, it would expand and the seed would be at the 2 inches closer, which would increase its light access or the light intensity. So what I did was I took them out and I flipped them over and made them ends. And that's what you see here. So now the water still can, through capillary action, come up. I got my little basil seeds, which take a while to germinate and need higher temperatures. So give them 3 days before anything happens. And we're going to see how that goes compared to, where did this come from? A different method. And I'll get to the different method in a second, but you can see that I have a dispersal pattern here, so that this is an extra one, so that each plant can get some space as it grows out. You don't have to do that right away, but eventually you'll have to separate them to get larger canopies. Okay, and then this method is super simple. I'm experimenting with it, right? I need water, I need the bottom of some medium to be in the water. So it's got to be at the very bottom of the net pot. And then it needs to also, my other requirement now is to have the seed germinate at the top of the net pot. And so what I used is neoprene discs that are typically meant for transplanting transplants. So I would grow a seed in an aeroponic system, it would put down roots, I would take the actual plant by the stem after about maybe 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and I'll put it in here. See that little, and it would hold it, and then the roots would hang, and this thing sits then snugly. It's made for the 2-inch net pot. I don't have an aeroponic system, and that's a whole nother ball of wax. So instead, I took these towels, and I ripped them in half once, and then I ripped them in half again, and then I ripped them in half again. And I took them, I rolled them up into little things like that, and I sandwiched them in there. So they bunch up at the center, they spread out at the top, and then they hang on at the bottom, and that bunches on the bottom. So I'm going to get the water. The theory here is that through capillary action, this media will be highly moistened. Here it'll be a high moisture environment tucked in there. I can even close it if I wanted to. And I'm hoping that this pinching here will actually mimic the resistance of the soil and encourage the plant to push its roots harder and grow more roots. we'll see if that turns out to be true. So running an experiment side by side, half the system is these, half the system is these, and we'll see. So I germinated, or I planted the seeds in dry environment in here, and then I'm putting them in my system, just like this, and then I'm covering them with a 2-inch humidity dome, and I'll let them sit for there probably at least a week. We'll see. I'll update you on that. And then, of course, if you notice this was just for a custom experiment setup, a mistake. So that's how I'm germinating my leafy greens and herbs, and I'll let you know if it was better. This method seems to be working, but I don't want, well, we'll see. Okay, thanks everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.